The notification popped up on Maya's screen just as the clock struck midnight. Her room was dark, except for the faint glow of her phone resting beside her pillow. She blinked twice, thinking her tired eyes were playing tricks. A new post from an account she did not remember following. The caption read in bold white letters, "Double tap if you dare." The image was strange. It showed a dimly lit corridor lined with flickering lights, stretching into an endless black void. At the far end, a faint figure stood, head slightly tilted, facing the camera. Maya felt her skin prickle. The longer she stared, the closer the figure seemed to appear. Her heart thudded once, hard. She locked her phone and tossed it aside, convincing herself it was just a creepy internet prank. But the silence in her room began to change. It thickened, as though the air itself was listening. A soft tap echoed from somewhere near her door. Once, twice. She froze, her breath caught halfway in her chest. The third tap came from her phone. Her screen had lit up again, on its own. The same image was there, only now, the figure was halfway down the corridor. Her pulse raced. She picked up the phone, her fingers trembling slightly, scrolling through the comments. Hundreds of users had written the same thing. "It moved closer after I liked it." Maya's stomach twisted. She wanted to throw the phone away, but something about the glowing heart symbol under the photo pulled her in. Her thumb hovered over it. The dare whispered in her head, as if spoken by someone standing just behind her ear. "Double tap if you dare." Her thumb pressed once, then twice. The heart turned red. Instantly, the phone vibrated. The photo changed again. The corridor was gone. Now it was her room, her bed, her phone, and behind her, in the reflection of her mirror, stood the same dark figure, closer than before, head still tilted. The air turned icy. Every hair on her neck stood upright. The scent of metal filled her nose, sharp and cold. The phone vibrated again, this time harder. A new caption appeared under the picture. "You are next." Maya dropped the phone, her heartbeat echoing in her ears like thunder. The sound of breathing, slow, steady, and heavy, filled the silence behind her. She turned, inch by inch, her vision trembling, throat dry, eyes wide open in terror. And there it was, the figure no longer in the mirror, but standing, right behind her. Maya's breath hitched as the room seemed to close in around her. The faint smell of dampness clung to the air, mixing with that metallic tang that made her tongue taste like rust. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out every other sound. She wanted to scream, but her throat refused to obey. Her phone lay face down on the bed, the faint buzz still trembling through the blanket, like something alive beneath the surface. She turned her head just enough to see the reflection again, desperate to confirm it was all in her imagination. But the mirror was empty. Her own reflection was gone. Only darkness stared back. Maya blinked rapidly, a chill creeping down her spine. She raised her hand slowly, waving it before the mirror. Nothing. No reflection. Just the shape of the room, distorted, stretched, and wrong. The air behind her thickened again, as though someone was breathing in the same rhythm she was trying to suppress. She could feel it, warm, moist air brushing the back of her neck. A presence, tall and silent, hovering so close that the temperature around her dropped to ice. Her phone buzzed once more. Then again. She turned quickly, expecting to see the screen dark, but it was glowing. A new message had appeared on the same post. "Do not turn around again." Maya's knees weakened. She stumbled backward, hitting the edge of her desk. Her lamp flickered, casting long, twisting shadows across the walls. Each flicker seemed to make the room shift, as if she were caught between two versions of her reality, one she knew, and one that was watching her. The shadows began to stretch, taking shape, moving without a source. Hands formed first, reaching across the ceiling. Fingers long and thin, tapering to points. Then eyes, empty, hollow circles of white, blinking without lids. Maya gasped and grabbed her phone like a lifeline. The screen was blank. No app, no home screen, nothing. Just her own front camera, showing her terrified face. And behind her shoulder, the figure. Its face was blurred, shifting, almost human but never fully forming. Its head tilted slightly, like in the original photo. Her breath came in sharp, shallow bursts. She stepped backward until her spine pressed against the cold wall. Her hands shook uncontrollably, clutching the phone so tight her knuckles turned white. Then the figure moved. Not a step, not a glide. It flickered. One moment behind her, the next, closer. Its outline warped, the static hum filling the air as though the whole room was caught in an electric storm. The lamp blinked out. Darkness swallowed her whole. Her phone was now the only source of light, dim and blue, flickering in her trembling hands. The camera showed her again, but this time, there were two figures behind her. Both with tilted heads, both standing too close. Her breath shattered into small gasps. She turned in panic, swinging her phone like a weapon, scanning the room. Nothing there, but the screen told another story. Now the figures were standing right in front of her. Maya's mind screamed, but no sound came out. The light from her phone dimmed further, the battery draining unnaturally fast. Before it went black, one final message appeared on the screen. Double tap again to leave. Her heart pounded so fast it hurt. She hesitated. If she did nothing, she felt she might disappear like her reflection. If she followed the message, who knew what would happen next? Her thumb hovered over the screen again, shaking violently. The air began to hum, a low, vibrating sound that made her teeth ache. The shadows moved like smoke, circling her feet. Whispers filled the air, overlapping voices chanting the same words in uneven tones. Double tap if you dare. Her fingers moved on their own, almost hypnotized by the rhythm of the sound. Tap once, tap twice. The screen turned red, then everything went silent. No whispers, no movement. Even her heartbeat felt distant, muffled, like she was underwater. The world dissolved around her, and she was suddenly standing, not in her room, but in a long, narrow corridor. The same one from the photo. Flickering lights lined the ceiling. The walls were damp, streaked with black stains that dripped slowly, like ink bleeding through paper. Her footsteps echoed softly as she took a step forward. Every light flickered as she passed beneath it, buzzing faintly. At the far end of the corridor, she saw something glowing, a faint red symbol painted on the door. A heart. The same heart she had tapped twice. Her hands were trembling uncontrollably now, her phone still clutched tightly in her palm. The screen displayed only one thing, her live reflection as she walked. Behind her, shapes flickered in and out of focus. Dozens of them, all watching, all with heads tilted in perfect unison. Maya's eyes widened in horror as she realized every figure looked like her, same face, same clothes, same terrified expression frozen in time. She ran toward the door, but the hallway seemed to stretch longer with each step. The red heart pulsed brighter, beating in rhythm with her chest. When she finally reached it, her fingers touched the door, and she felt it beating. Warm, alive. Her phone vibrated again. The camera showed her face, pale and wide-eyed, whispering something she could not hear. The volume rose on its own. Her own recorded voice filled the air. Double tap if you dare. The sound echoed, looping over itself, louder and louder until her ears rang. Her reflection on the phone started smiling. But Maya was not smiling. The reflection tilted its head, slowly, unnaturally. Then it stepped out of the screen. The world shattered in white light. When the light faded, the corridor was empty. The phone lay on the ground, screen cracked, still glowing faintly. A new post appeared on her social feed. A picture of her standing in that same corridor, staring into the camera, head tilted slightly. The caption read, "Double tap if you dare." And as the likes began to rise one by one, the faint outline of new figures began appearing behind her in the photo, each one of them tilting their heads, waiting for the next person to tap twice. Maya froze as she stared at her own image on the screen, the eerie reflection staring back at her with that same tilted head. Her chest heaved, every breath sharp and shallow, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Her phone slipped from her trembling hands and clattered to the floor, but this time, nothing happened. The corridor, the figures, the flickering lights, they were gone. She was back in her room, dimly lit by the soft glow of the bedside lamp. Everything was still. The metallic smell had vanished, replaced by the familiar scent of her bedroom. Maya sank onto her bed, clutching her knees, heart pounding, trying to convince herself it had all been a nightmare, a trick of exhaustion and fear. She reached for her phone, hesitating before unlocking it. The screen was normal. No posts. No haunting captions. Just her home screen, quiet and ordinary. A shiver ran down her spine, but she felt a strange relief wash over her. Maybe it was over. Maybe the dare had ended. She placed the phone on the bedside table and took a long, steadying breath. The clock ticked softly, marking the return of normalcy. For the first time since midnight, Maya allowed herself a small, cautious smile. She realized the true power had never been in the app, or the post, or the figure, it had been in her own fear. And now that she had faced it, she felt stronger, sharper, more alive than before. She pulled the blanket close, closing her eyes, letting the silence of her room cradle her. Outside, the wind whispered softly, but inside, everything was calm. Maya knew one thing clearly: she would never double tap without thinking again. And somehow, that knowledge felt like a victory. The night had been terrifying, but it had ended. And in the quiet aftermath, Maya finally allowed herself to sleep. Safe, for now.